Grand Rising, everybody. This is Dice Game D coming back here on We Are Vicious TV, and we've been telling y'all about these reptilians forever.
These creatures are harvesting us. These creatures are not aliens, Mr. Ike. These creatures are sexually compatible with our women. And what does that tell you? It tells you that they came from here. They are part of us. African tradition says that the Chitauri fatten on the energy that we human beings give them. They make us to fight each other. And when the whole land is drowning in death and fear and terror, when hundreds and hundreds of people are angry and afraid, the Chitauri get fed because they eat that what we call the dark power, which is brought about when human beings destroy the planet on which they live.
This is no prank. This is no Grim Reaper. This is a massive, giant lizard walking across the aisle at King Charles' coronation. When I saw the photo, when I blew it up, I said, oh, Father. Was I shocked? Was I surprised? No, I wasn't, because I know who they are. So, you know, it's just, for me, it was just the barefacedness of it all. The barefacedness. So when I blow it up, brothers and sisters, you thought that that black thing that you saw is a cloak. It is as thin as a nightie. It's like a, how could I put it? A sheer top. Ladies know what I'm talking about. It's like a sheer material, whatever this entity had on, but it's no cloak. So when I blow up the photograph, brothers and sisters, and I look at it, you could see the lizard underneath the sheer cloak. It was green. You need to do your own research. You have to do your own research. I mean, I try to, the colors, it shows on my phone that I'm talking, but on my iPad, it's not showing up, maybe because the resolution, because it's a very, very old iPad. This is 10 years old. It's really, really old, is this stuff I got. So the resolution is not that great, right? But when I blow up the photograph on my normal phone that I'm recording now with, brothers and sisters, everything was just highlighted. You could see the tail. You could see the green body. You could see the tiny little hands. Tiny, like a lizard. Two tiny little hands, like a lizard. And there are points when the reptile is walking across the aisle, right? And he's looking in the cathedral. And you could see his two big lizard eyes. I said, Father God of creation, this is what the people have down there in Buckingham Palace or wherever they did their coronation. I said, look at this, Lord. And look at everybody jumping for joy. Hooray, we celebrate, saying this and saying that in terms of giving homage to the monarchy. But the greatest thing about this channel is that I warn. I am obedient to the Most High, and I come out and I warn. It's no Grim Reaper, brothers and sisters. That's a reptile. That's a giant lizard. Whosoever that was, shape shifted. Because they don't stay human for long. When I say human, they're not human really. But they cannot maintain it depends. It's a weird way. And this is the reason why I keep on saying to brothers and sisters that they cannot wait until the dirty Caesar announce them, because they want to keep their form. They're more comfortable in the reptilian form that they are. Men heart failing them for looking at these things coming up on the earth, right? So everybody jumping and said, oh, Grim Reaper, Grim Reaper. It's not a Grim Reaper. That's no Grim Reaper. So I try to take some more still shots and blow it up as best as I can. This is my mobile. So you can't see the color. That's why you have to do it yourself on your fancy phone. All right, 'cause my iPad is old, so the resolution is not that great. But I want to show you the outline of the lizard that was walking across the aisle. All right, that's not a human. That's no Grim Reaper, brothers and sisters. All right, it's a little bit sorry. You got, like I said, you got to do your own research. Can you see the tiny? Can you see all lizard shape? But when you can you see the head as well? You can see the head. You can see the tiny arm, and that's the body. That's the body, right? But on my phone, when you look at it, I can see the colors. It's green. You literally see the green body underneath the sheer. I call it sheer because that's not a cloak. I can see through it. Whatever that was, right? You can actually see through it. You can see the whole green body. You can see that the tiny little hands and everything. And like I say, at one point when I screenshotted, the reptile was looking in the cathedral. You saw the two big eyes, like just like a lizard. And so they want us to what? They want us to pay homage to a reptile king. Here's another one. Because like I say, my iPad is a little bit funny. Hold on, brothers and sisters. Let me go back. But that's the reason why you have to learn when the media comes out and paint something. So like everybody's saying, oh, it's a Grim Reaper. Because they don't understand. They don't understand. So they'll say it's a Grim Reaper because they think that it's in a cloak. It's not a cloak. It's part of his body clothing. Because on my phone, when I properly blow it up and I began to look, the so-called cloak that this thing has on. So the edge, I'm going to try to show it. It's not going to show in here, but I only can explain on my, because my thing's not great. But the edge, sorry, the edge, okay. So the edge of the so-called cloak is bone. It's like, backbone. Like a skeleton, like it's all bony, like it's weird. It's all bony. You can see the ridges of the bone as if it's hunched over when it's walking, and you see the ridges of the bone. Men heart failing them. No,
I'm not a poor baby. I'm more reptilian, cold-blooded, and going to win the election.
We're going to take a short break. I want to talk to you more about President Biden and some other things.
No, I'm not a poor baby. I'm more reptilian, cold-blooded, and going to win the election.
We're going to take a short break. I want to talk to you more about President Biden and some other things.
This is totally unreal that this happened like in 1942 on this planet. Extraterrestrial come from who knows where out in the galaxy. Germany gets to be the country that these Draco reptilians pick out to do two types of missions. One, to remove all of the people that Hitler didn't want in his country, and every one of them around the planet. Two, to take every man, woman, and child on this planet and put them in slave factories, men, women, and children, to build and construct all these different types of Draco Navy space battle group ships. This may sound like insanity. This is what happened.
He had concluded from what these insiders were telling him that the Germans had actually made treaties with a highly aggressive and highly negative reptilian humanoid race that they've called the Saurians or the Draco. This treaty involved the Nazis actually being given workable technology that is built with our own conventional systems. They use a sort of mercury turbine, a type of mercury called red mercury. And then they are actually able to leave the Earth. They had a settlement on the moon, they had a settlement on Mars, and they were doing this stuff as early as 1939, even before World War II actually started. As you can imagine, everybody was thinking he was crazy, but yet these insiders were reporting literally standing there, in which you have 8 foot tall, even 12 to 14 foot tall reptilian extraterrestrials, terrifying in appearance, they smell bad, actually advising the Germans on how to build this stuff in these various bases, including that in Antarctica.
Operation High Jump was an operation commissioned in 1947 that was led by Admiral Richard Byrd. And on the public level, it was said that this was a scientific exploration. But what happened was that this operation was commissioned with 33 ships, 13 aircraft, and 5,000 men. Now, this was not a scientific exploration with that many men and that many ships. What Operation High Jump actually was commissioned for was to go down to Antarctica and basically root out the Nazi installations that they had built pre and during World War II. The DC flyover was an event that occurred over successive weekends in July of 1952 in Washington, DC. And what had happened was that there was a mass sighting right over the Capitol building in Washington, DC. There was many lights in the sky. Now, many people believe that this was a UFO or an extraterrestrial incident, but in fact it was not. It was German saucers, German craft that were flying over the Capitol building and essentially forcing the hand of the Americans to accept many of these Nazi scientists into their control structures. When many of these Nazi scientists came into America after World War II in Operation Paperclip, they infiltrated into basically every power structure in the United States, government, media, medical systems, basically everything. After World War II, James Forrestal went to Germany to tour many of the research facilities that the Germans had over in Europe, and John F. Kennedy actually accompanied him on those tours. Some believe that Kennedy was actually given information by Forrestal about secret space programs and the UFO phenomenon. And near the end of James Forrestal's career, he was also embroiled in many policy struggles within the United States government. He wanted to disclose the UFO phenomenon and the technologies associated with it. It was said that he committed suicide by jumping out of a high-rise hospital that he was staying in at the time of his death. But of course, many people are also believing that he was actually pushed out of the window and in fact assassinated to prevent him from working to disclose these technologies.
Here's some information spoken about reptilians by government officials and ex-government workers. The reptilians are known to be part of a grander empire that goes by many different names, mainly the Draconian Empire, which is basically a dark force. They have been visiting Earth since its creation, and they have been known to do genetic experiments on humans and animals, especially during the time of the dinosaurs. They have been known for infiltrating less advanced planets by first offering technology in exchange for resources, because they know that these civilizations are looking for technological advancements. Infiltrating planets from the inside is their specialty, and it is easier to take over civilizations using this technique, which is exactly what they're doing for Earth. This is why you hear a lot about elites being reptilians or having reptilian connections, because they are doing this exact same technique for Earth through the elites. Apparently they have a hierarchical system which includes the elite reptilians having wings, and I keep hearing about this through government officials, CIA agents, people who channel ETs, and it's even depicted in movies. Throughout my research, I keep coming across that at the top of their hierarchical system are dragons, and they haven't polarized the positive or negative, they're neutral. So many shamans have told me this too. They have chosen to advance technologically instead of spiritually, meaning that they have chosen not to advance spiritually at all and repel anything related to the universe and love. This is very common for lower vibrational civilizations. This may also surprise you, but not all reptilians are bad. There are actually split off groups that are high vibrational and are traveling far and wide across the universe to help civilizations like ours. Overall, I want you to know that this civilization has millions of years of history in our universe, and especially on our planet. If they aren't one of the most ancient, they're one of the most dangerous.